Good morning, and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual freethinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm Karen Alvarez, your worship associate for this morning, and the service today will be led by Laura Wink. Thank you, everyone, on this morning's worship team, also including music by Bill Mills and religious education for children 3 and over by Pat and Kaya Mills. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway. And whether it's your first visit or your 1,000th, we are glad that you came. This service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel. We will plan on continuing with hybrid worship services, so you can join us each week here in person, on Zoom, or later on YouTube. To help us connect better with our friends watching from home, please turn around and give a wave to the camera. At the end of the service, we will invite our friends on Zoom to turn on their cameras and return the wave. I have a few announcements to share with you today. To help make the most of our time together, event details can be found in the printed announcements in the back of the room or the weekly email. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, please fill out the card on or near your chair. We invite you to bring them forward and place them in the basket after Bill rings the chimes and begins to play. You can also come forward to drop a pebble in the water if you have a joy or sorrow that you prefer not to share. Please join us today after the service for our monthly Social and Environmental Justice Committee meeting. We are expecting this service and the meeting to both be on the shorter side, so religious education will continue for a bit longer after the service ends, and we should have plenty of time to meet and then socialize after. The meeting will be hybrid, so let us know in the chat if you'd like to participate over Zoom. NYRE News is having a regional convening on January 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the First Unitarian Church of Rochester to celebrate climate wins in New York State, including Governor Hochul's recent signing of legislation to end the 100-foot rule and a call to action to accomplish remaining goals. One relevant concern is supporting Tonawanda Seneca Nation and their efforts to stop stamp. Are there any other announcements for the good of the community?
Good morning. We've now been doing the designated closer for about 2.5 months, and I think everybody's found that the church is way cleaner. Yeah, it's working really well. But it's now going to be January, and we need people to sign up for January, February, and March. So the signups are around the corner on the bulletin board on the back. So if you could, if you're able to stay, there's a list of kind of all the tasks. Basically, you stay until everybody is out of the church to make sure everything is done and put away, cleaned up. Doesn't mean you have to do all of those functions yourself. It just means that you have to make sure that everything got done before you leave. And just a reminder, if you are the designated closer, just really take a look through all of the checklist on that. It's really easy to forget stuff. So like the basement trash cans, they're not always getting cleaned out at the end, and we kind of forget about those. So everything that you need to do is on that list. Take a look, and if somebody could please sign up at least for next week, that'd be great. Thanks.
Finger Lakes Justice Partnership will be having their monthly People's Parliament and community meal today at 4 o'clock at St. Mark's Church in Penn Yan. I'm planning on driving down, so if you are interested in carpooling from this area or figuring out something to make the drive a little shorter, come find me after the service.
As we prepare to be fully together, I remind you to silence your phones and devices. We now enter a space of worship, and now is the time to bring forward any joys or sorrows or come up to drop a pebble. We're going to light the chalice, but I'm going to warn you that it's been a little finicky. We think we know why, we just didn't have a chance to fix it, so we're just going to kind of roll with this today. So I invite you to join with me in our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's more of you than I expected today. Welcome. This morning, as we come together for the last Sunday of the darkness season, I hope that you have found both darkness and light, excitement and rest, to help restore and prepare you for the new year ahead. On this Justice Sunday, let's take the opportunity to refocus and recommit to the ways we can work together to spread light throughout the world. Our first reading was shared on the UUA Worship web by Lori Stevens. It's called From the Sea of Stars. Our ancestry arose in the ancient seas, first life forms drinking light. Our family evolved, senses, roots, limbs, scales, minds. We raced across the world in glorious green, stretched aloft the canopy, spread wings to take the skies. We made simple tools to shape the world, befriended our enemy, fire, and painted horses on the cave wall. We sang, we loved, we gazed up at the mysterious stars. We tried to understand what had created us, why we were here, why we suffered, and how to keep what was precious. Once again, we raced across the world, changed colors, befriended the field and the wolf. We built shelters, which grew to palaces. We fought and died. Yet still we sang. Still we mapped the constellations. Our ancestry arose in the ancient sea of stars. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in our opening hymn, How Sweet the Darkness, number 1055 in the Teal hymnal.
Skins
So this morning, we're going to read one of my favorite winter stories. And if you're not familiar with this story, or Jan, Brad, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the sides of the story, which give you some clues as to what's going to happen next. Once, there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as the snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, and then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wriggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all pumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound. And then she saw that he still had his new mittens. One was kind of bigger, though. Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or committee and thank them for their gift of time. This week, the group is religious education. People interested in finding out more can contact Kaya or Pat Mills or Nancy Reed. 1/4 of our plate collection for the darkness season will go to our service partner, The Spot. The Spot provides free food, clothing, school supplies, and personal care items to students in the Canandaigua and Victor school districts. Their work ensures equitable, easy access to basic needs. You can give to this morning's offering by placing cash or a check into the basket or by one of the options on your screen. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering. Good bit of choice this morning. A person here who is happy to share that their partner is staying with them, and a visitor from the south who is really excited to get to see some snow. Personally, less excited, but I had to clean out the driveway. And an additional joy to celebrate the winter season with this congregation. Kaya is very excited to be going on a trip this week, and Peter and Mary Beth will be celebrating their 53rd wedding anniversary on New Year's Eve, so awesome. So I will now drop a stone for these and all the joys and sorrows that are left in the silence of our heart. Whatever is in your heart today, we are with you. And at this time, if there are any children who would like to attend religious education, please go downstairs with Kaya and Pat.
Now is the time for centering, followed by shared silence. And of course, by shared silence, we mean the absence of grown-ups talking to one another. Let's get comfortable in our seats. Wherever you are, let your breathing slow and your eyes fall closed if that's okay. And take a few minutes to just be. Take a deep breath in and let it out. These words for meditation are shared again from the UUA, Open to the Blessed Darkness by Linda Hart. In the quiet of these moments, let us take a common breath, unclench, and open to each other and the Holy One we call by many names. We arrive in these moments bearing the whole of our lives. We bring with us the worries and troubles of our days, sometimes overwhelming, loss beyond words, pain and struggle known only in the deepest place of our hearts. Here in the quiet, joined with each other, may we release our hearts from them, find a moment of peace. We come to these moments with the freshness of love, the grace of small treasures, with hope and faith, knowing well the promise of the dawning day, even in the longest of nights. Here in the quiet, may we lift up our hearts in gratitude for the gifts of our lives, pausing in thanksgiving. It is written that to everything there is a season, and in our hearts, we know that is true. As the earth spirals toward the solstice, or away from the solstice, let us open to the blessed darkness, praising renewal that comes as the light slowly returns. May the silence we hold together continue to bring peace in our hearts. So this is Social Justice Sunday, and we don't have a sermon today. If the internet cooperates and Danielle's able to hold up all of the windows that she's got poised for us to see, we're going to use this time to listen to some words of inspiration by the Reverend Dr. Sophia Bentecourt, our UUA president, about the UU's 200th anniversary. Then we're going to look on the internet. We're going to have a little show and tell about some resources for social justice and explore a few of them. So the first thing we have is Reverend Sophia. Yay!
All best blessings to you in this winter holiday season, beloveds. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. It is my privilege to serve as president of your Unitarian Universalist Association. And in this season, a season of hope, a season of neighborliness, a season of joy, a season of care, I know that we are coming into these times from a difficult year. And my prayer is that we as Unitarian Universalists will hold fast to our cultural norms around hope and remind one another that hope can be a practice, that hope is a discipline, as the organizer Mariama Kaba tells us, that hope is a promise that we hold in common cause, as the poet Aurora Levins Morales teaches. Hope draws from our historical grounding as Unitarians, Universalists, and Unitarian Universalists, and in times of change, times of deep division, in our faith communities and in the world around us, we hold fast to a posture of hope and use it to drive our commitment to action. In this season, we support and hold one another, even when it's not easy, even if it's not our first instinct. We are reminded by songs of joy. We are reminded by teachings on the dying light and its return. We are reminded by stories of hope being born into the world. We are reminded, beloved, to work for the full equality of our immigrant neighbors. We are reminded to seek truth in one another. We are reminded to find the sacred in a breadth of stories, each of them meaningful in our human condition. I know to my bones that despair cannot claim all the space in our hearts, even in difficult times. And I know that this is harder for those of us who are particularly targeted by those who wish us to succumb to that despair itself. But we can lean on each other. We can remind one another through time together, through worship, through action in the streets, feeding our neighbors, singing with children, educating each other, reminding ourselves once again of the simple messages of this season and the opportunity at the turning of this year to begin again. In particular, for all of our federal workers, caregivers, those who feel particularly targeted by policies, politics, and a lack of care. Know that we are with you, no matter what, not only in this season, but throughout the turning of the year. Remember the teachings that even in times of despair, hope is renewed between and among us. We're not waiting passively on a miracle. We are working together for our values, and may those values be the guiding light of this season. I love you, each and every one of you, and we will continue together on this journey. May you have time and space for a bit of joy and for many reminders in these days. Hold fast to each other, beloveds. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and all best blessings upon you.
So I would also like to just celebrate that the Social Justice Committee is taking action this year, and we're making a difference. The Justice Table event, for those of you who are new to our church, we have a Justice Table event on the 3rd Friday, which has a potluck and action and advocacy activities for us, and we've enjoyed having our neighbor churches come and join us for that. And I want to just kind of bring forth that we are not alone. This is our UUA president who talked to us, and I think that her words are inspiring. And some of the work that we do is in context of the greater UUA and the New York Unitarian Universalist Justice Society. So what Danielle's going to try to pull up next is where we go to find these resources. The first one might be the UUA. Yay! So in addition to our work, you can see there's a website on the UUA on justice and inclusion. I don't know if you guys can see that. So if you can't see it very well, okay. Well, there is a website on the UUA for justice and inclusion. The UUA has identified 4 priorities. So maybe we can go to the priorities next. Is that a different tab? It is a different tab. So it's the create climate justice. Yeah. The Zoom controls are hiding. It doesn't have to be full size for it to be size. That's right. So the UUA, in their Side with Love campaign, Side with Love is the umbrella term to cover their 4 priorities. The first one being creating climate justice. You can go on the website and look if you're interested in climate justice, and if you scroll down a little bit, each of those opens up into more information and more ways to get involved. So that's climate justice. And the next one, and if anybody wants to click on any one of these at any time, let me know. We can go into any of these in further depth. But the next one, the next priority is uplift action, which is bodily autonomy. And this includes transgender issues and reproductive right issues. You can go into more details on those at that site. And subscribe. The next one is Love Resists, which is about racial justice and immigrant justice. This is their 3rd priority. So again, you can sign up for regular newsletters from any one of these priorities. You can join in almost all of them have monthly meetings that you can join and get information about how to get more involved. And then the 4th priority is UU the Vote. This is about voting rights and defending our election process. They've got a brand new team. So I'm expecting that we're going to do a lot more work on this in this upcoming year through our Social Justice Committee. So those are all under the UUA. And then under the New York Unitarian Universalist Justice Committee, they have established partnerships. I can't see it either. There we go. So, New York, no, nobody's going to be able to hear me, right? So we've got Compassion and Choices, Beyond Plastics, which is, I think I printed out their information and put it in the back. Underneath that is the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for Earth. In the middle is New York Renews, which we just talked about today. RAP, which is Release Aging People in Prisons. Underneath that is, I don't know what that is. I can't remember what that is. Up is Citizen Action. We just talked about that a second ago. Rural and Migrant Ministry, UU the Vote, and then the umbrella term Side with Love, and the New York State Council of Churches. So any one of those has more information and may have action items. Trickling down from that, like some of the area Unitarian Universalist churches are more active. John Kiebert at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Rochester sends us information on a regular basis about things that are going on. They're the ones hosting the Renews that's coming up January 16th. So, okay, so in conclusion, there's hope, right? We're doing things, we're taking action. Our social justice committee may be small, but we are making a difference. We distributed 50 soup jars across, blessing boxes across the region. We cut up quilt squares at the last justice table for the Farmington Friends Comforter Project. And that's going to continue. And our next justice table, we're going to be creating the birthday boxes for blessing boxes. So come and bring those things, and we'll work together and continue to bring hope. Now, to conclude, hope comes to claim us. Guess where I got it from? The UUA. By Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. In the season of long, cold nights, hope isn't waiting for us to find it. Hope isn't sitting patiently on the sidelines. Hope seeks out the forgotten places, the longest night, the damaged temple, the overcrowded stable, and every corner where tomorrow seems impossible. Hope bursts in uninvited, without concern for our carefully crafted plans. Hope shows up as a lamp that keeps burning. Hope shows up as an improbable baby. Hope shows up as the sun, returning without ever having left. Hope shows up as tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, until, against all odds, we feel the future breaking on the horizon. When we are weary from battle, when empire seems inevitable, and when darkness is growing around us, hope comes to claim us, and we have the chance to say yes. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in our closing hymn. Come sing a song with me, number 346 in the Gray Hymnal.
If you are with us today on Zoom and would like to wave goodbye at the end of the service, now is the time for you to turn your cameras on. Please join me in our words for extinguishing the chalice, which did hold on here, but clearly needs some attention. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And we'll have the Social Justice Committee meeting in about 5 minutes.